Welcome back to the Girl Cave. Earlier this year, I had a video on how I organize a large project. I took my trip to Europe as an example, and I divided the trip by countries. Then I took everything that I had specifically for that portion of the trip, and I put it in these 2-gallon Ziploc bags. So this one here is the cruise around the coast of Italy. And anything that I had that was cruise related that I wanted to use for that trip, I put in here, including some paper and some embellishments. This one is for Rome. I don't have any paper here yet. Actually, yes, I do. I have a little bit of paper in there. Mostly I have, let's see, just the photos and a little bit of embellishments. I don't have a lot. I have very little for embellishments as far as that is, but I went ahead and for this one I sorted the trip by days. So I have one day here, only the pictures. This was Pompeii. I have the brochure. This one here is Napoleon's tomb. I don't have anything, but I do have the museum brochure, and a lot of times I will cut pictures from the brochure, or if it has a map or something, and I will use it as an embellishment on my page. I just make sure that it doesn't touch the pictures because I don't know that they would be acid free. This one has paper. These right here have paper. So this portion of the trip, Rome, is pretty much ready for me to go because I have quite a few with paper and embellishments ready. So I will put it in this 2-gallon bag. And the reason why I'm working on it again today is because towards the end of the month, I'm going on a weekend crop retreat. And then this one is everything with Paris. And I can see that I've sorted a few by days, and I have a little bit of paper. So I have some paper kits and some embellishments. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take one bag and I'm going to go through every page kit, and I'm going to make sure that I have pictures, I have papers, I have embellishments. The ones that don't have papers, I will go through this bin of papers that I've selected for my trip, and I'll pick something from here. I have cardstock, I have a few paper pads, I have some page kits. So I will get that ready. And then I've also chosen embellishments that I specifically want to use for that trip, but I haven't assigned them to a specific page. So I think I'm going to work on that this week or the next 2 weeks. These are all the washes that I've chosen for that specific trip. And these little holders I purchased at Hobby Lobby, and I believe they were like $1.99. These are next to the sewing section. So if you go to the sewing section, you will find these. $1.99, and they're the perfect size. They hold a lot of washi in there. I mean, a lot of washi. And I have some loose embellishments. So now I am going to sit on the floor, take one bag, which is one country. Typically, I like to start with looking at how many vertical pictures I have and how many horizontals. I find a sketch that could work to accommodate all of my photos. And then from there, I look to see how many pieces of paper I need. Can I get away by using scraps? And then I go through each one. After I have the paper, I add embellishment. The first one that I went through, I had these 2 sheets of paper. And to be honest with you, I don't know why I have those papers because they're not my favorites. I'm not sure if somebody gave them to me or at the time, did I buy these sheets of paper? I don't know. I don't know if I bought them or not. At this point in my life, they are not my style, but I can use the backside and it looks kind of vintage, kind of dirty. So I decided, okay, I'm going to keep that paper And I found a sketch that I can use in this book. It's called The Whole Picture. It's by Allison Davis. And this is perfect because you don't have to cut your photos. You're going to use the 4x6 size. So I found my sketch. In the little index card that I had in this paper kit, I wrote myself that I'm going to use sketch number 12 from that book. I already know the title that I'm going to use, which is Leaning is Essential. So all I have to do is cut out the word leaning because I found, where is it? I found and I lost it. I can't find it now. Here we go. I found these stickers in my travel supplies that say essential. And it says, you know, basic and absolute necessity, indispensable. And when you are in Pisa, you have to take these pictures with the tower. I mean, you just have to be a tourist and do it, right? So I'm gonna use that as part of my title. I went through all of my travel supplies and I added a little bit of labels. So the sketch calls for some borders. I'm gonna use those. I found a sticker that says sightseeing. I have, I put like 2 different cameras. This one is a little bit more dark. I don't think I want to use the dark one because the paper is already dark. So I want to lighten it up a little bit. So the other piece of paper that I'm going to use with this has to be light in order to brighten it a little bit more. One of the pictures is of the wolves that, you know, from the founding of Rome. So I found these 2 little wolves that I could use in one of my clusters, right? Romulus and Remus. And then I had a little sticker with 1 little wolf. Where else am I going to use that? So I put it in there. I have 2 little tabs that have the Leaning Tower of Pisa there. And then I have some blue to do. And I have a little camera. I have a check mark because we had to do that. And then I found this cute little sticker that says tourist. And I found this great rub-on that says picture perfect. So I'm going to use that. But it's a rub-on, so I don't want to cut it out and put it in here because you know how that gets damaged really easily. And I found that I wrote myself a note on the tag that I can use the tower as my cluster base. So I have extra pictures that I'm not going to use because either they're dark or they're repeats. And I can choose to cut out that Leaning Tower to use as my cluster base. This one seems a little dark. This one seems a little small, but I'll cut them out and audition them. And another option that I have, and I wrote it on my index card, is the back of this paper, a tower right there. I could just fussy cut it out and use that part, and that would work as my cluster base. I have these because I said blue and beige. I could probably use those. I have this camera, which I like a little bit better because it's not as dark. I could even use the globe. I could use this as another cluster base. And then for my journaling, I could use this, or I could use this one or this one. I haven't decided yet. And some arrows are always good to have. And then I need a piece of paper to mat 2 of my horizontal photos and the journaling block. And I love this one because it's just, it looks really good with that green. It lightens it up just a little bit, but this is not big enough. And I went through all of my scraps trying to find something, and I just couldn't find it. So then I knew that the reason why I liked this was A, it was light color, and B, it was text. So I went through my other papers and I found this one. And I thought it was funny because it's slanted. So, you know, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But I'm not making my choices at this point. So I'm just going to put it in here. I love this one as well because it has that typewriter text just like the sticker that I'm going to use as part of my title. So that would go well together. And notice that this is cream and this is kind of cream, a little bit lighter, but I think it works. I also have this notebook paper, which is the exact same shade, but to be honest, like this doesn't really do much for me. So this is one of the bottom options. I have this graph paper. And when you're talking about the Leaning Tower of Pisa, you're talking about engineering, you're talking about graph paper. I have some ledgers. I have 2 different ones. So I'm just going to put all of these papers in here as options. And I have all of my little stickers that I've collected and all of my little embellishments. And I don't want to lose them because some of them are small. So I'm going to put them in a little Ziploc bag. And let me tell you, Ziploc bags are your best friend. They're inexpensive and they hold everything so that you don't lose tiny little things like this. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, the first page kits that you complete take a little bit long because you're going through all of your supplies, but you get reacquainted with what you had already set aside with your supplies, and the following pages go just a little faster because you've seen what you have and you remember. And as you're going through your things, you may find things that you see and you're like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I'm not going to use it for this page, but I'm definitely going to use it for the trip. So I put it in the bag with all the things for Italy, like the general Italy things. I have some stickers here that says Paris, so I'm going to put that with my Paris kit. I have one with a double-decker bus, and we went on a tour. This for the cruise. So as I'm going through and I find things, I'm just putting them aside. And each page kit goes by a little faster, a little faster. So it's kind of like a snowball effect. My first page kit is complete. I'm not using only this on the page, but this is a really good start. Once I get the layout done, I can go back and look for finishing touches to add. So now I'm going to work through, see, this one is very general Italy, so I'm going to put this in here front so that I see it frequently. And now I'll just go through Pompeii. And here's something that I found. These papers that I have here, these came from a European paper pad that I had purchased. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like some of it was beautiful, I enjoyed it, but then after a while I got tired of the same dark and grungy kind of colors. So I've learned that I much rather use regular paper, not thematic paper, because it gives me a lot more options. So here I have a lot of scraps. I wrote myself a little note to say add pizza stickers because we were eating pizza in Naples. Look for sketch on Pinterest board. I have a little Pinterest board. I'm going to print it out and put it here so that I don't have to get sidetracked once I get to the crop, because once I get on that iPad, I know myself, I'm just gonna get sucked into a little hole. This one right here, I have pictures, I have paper, I have the tickets to the Colosseum, and I'm going to use those as embellishments because look at these, they are gorgeous. So these I will definitely use either as embellishments or cluster bases or both. I have this, so I'm putting them there. And then every day after school, I can take one page, take everything out, look for a sketch, add more embellishments. And I'm telling you, this is all I'm taking this time. For this crop, I am not taking anything else. So I need paper for this and a sketch and some embellishments. I need a sketch, paper, and embellishments. Now this one will definitely be more than one page definitely. This was the first picture I took when we got there. I just found it so ironic that as we were approaching Pompeii, the first thing I saw was this sign of Burger King. And I kept thinking, well, that's ironic. Charbroiled hamburgers at Pompeii. So that's my sense of humor. So that I'm definitely scrapping that. So there's a lot of pictures here. Do I have to scrap all the pictures? Probably not. So, but I will definitely have more than one page for sure. So I'll go through this one and sort them and figure out how many layouts that's gonna be. I don't want to have like 5 layouts of Pompeii. Maybe 2, maybe 3 at the most. Here's this one. We went to a restaurant, so I need to find more stickers that have to do with food and beautiful paper. I could probably throw in a doily there because we were at a restaurant. And that's it. That's my process, and I'm gonna keep playing with this. I hope that you find this helpful to see how to break down a big project into smaller workable chunks. I will link the first video to this process in the description box below, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye.